hard. How's the police guy going to enforce the rules? How's the state going to enforce the rules if they're so different? And so what does that mean? The law has to be, in a way, predictable. The law has to be such that each individual will know what is allowed and what is not. This right here is the madhabs. So the madhabs is not, with regards to you determining the qibla, you're not using the Hanafi method to determine the qibla, for example. You're just saying, I need to know which way is the Kaaba. And you're going to determine that in whatever way you want. I need to know when Dhuhr time comes in. I can either look at the sun, I can look at my watch, I can look at the adhan app, I can listen, if I hear the adhan in the masjid, I'll know that it came in, and so on and so forth. You do what is in your ability to apply the rule. But societally, the laws have to be predictable, and this is the role of the madhab. So the madhab, there's always two central components to a madhab. The first central component is that it's always connected to a sacred past. That's what makes a madhab different from American law. That's what makes a madhab different from Pakistani law. Just joking. It makes it different from like Canadian law, it makes it different from German law, it makes it different from all of these secular laws, is that it's grounded in a sacred past. What is a sacred past?
The 3 generations up to the Prophet.
Good. So the 3 generations, particularly the time of the Prophet ﷺ and the time of the companions, right? And the Quran. So each madhab is going to have to be grounded in a sacred past. If the madhab is not grounded in a sacred past, throw it out the window. And it historically has been, right? So a madhab has to be. Every madhab, this is one of these central components. Of all of these 4 madhabs, what do they share in common, as somebody was saying earlier? They're grounded in a sacred past. But there's also another important component of a madhab. All of the madhabs share in it, which is that they have to be practical. They have to really address the society that they're addressing, or that they're in. If a madhab is not addressing the society that you're in, it's not really useful. Suppose you look up in the Hanafi madhab that you're not allowed to ride a donkey on the left side of the street, and you live in America. And that's all you can find in the madhab. And all you're really trying to do is determine how do you drive your car. You're not going to find it in the madhab anyways. But if you're trying to determine which laws to follow with regards to driving your car, and you go and you ask scholars, and the answer that they give you is always, drive your donkey on the left side of the road. It's not very practical, because it's not rooted in the context, right? And so if a madhab is not rooted in the context, if a madhab itself is not practical, then it's not going to continue. The madhabs we talked about were started roughly in the 9th to 10th century. What century are we in right now? 15th century?
15th century, 14th century.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Hijri. No, Gregorian. 21st century, right? So we're in the 21st century. We're in the 21st century. These were started in the 9th to 10th century. How many centuries is that? Roughly 11 to 12, right? 11 to 12 centuries. Do you think something could last 11 to 12 centuries if all it told you was stuff that was not useful? Do you think it could stay the law of the land if it was literally telling you stuff that wasn't useful or didn't pertain to that land, that didn't pertain to that society? Not at all, right? And so these are 2 aspects of a madhab. And as soon as a madhab either is not grounded in the sacred past, or it's not practical, it no longer will continue, right? Eventually, and history tells us, it will eventually die out. There was a madhab by the name, the Zahiri madhab. Have people heard of the Zahiri madhab? What is the Zahiri madhab? Anybody know anything about it?
It's supposed to be the first one, but for some reason...
Okay, possibly.